something feels off in our bodies, in our neighborhoods, in the way we live our days. It's not just that we're tired, it's that we're disconnected from stillness, from each other, from ourselves, and from the natural world that once gave our lives rhythm. But this didn't just happen to us. We designed it. We built technologies that connect us in an instant, but takes us out of the places that mean more than words or memes, where you can meet a gaze, smell the air, have a warm embrace under the sun. We get lost in scrolling instead of gathering. Quick comments to post replace meaningful conversation. We designed systems to reward efficiency over reflection. We fill our days with tools that accelerate our life beyond what our nervous systems or our neighborhoods can endure. We no longer live in rhythm with the sun or the seasons or our souls. We live in rhythm with notifications, and it's making us sick. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can be finding a better way, one that takes the best of our progress without losing the care, connection, and groundedness of that which makes us whole. For me, finding a better way was both personal and essential. Years ago, I was working 65-hour weeks, living my most ambitious dream, but somewhere along the way, I lost track of myself. I was stretched thin, and then I had a miscarriage, and then another, and then another. It stopped me cold, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. It cracked me open in a way I didn't expect. And in the middle of that pain, I stepped outside, not to escape, just to find something steady. I leaned up against a tree. I listened to the wind. I watched the light glimmer on the leaves. I was alone, but I was connected, not to a person, but to the whole world. After all, we are nature. Nature isn't just what's out there, it's right here. I felt connected to something larger than myself and older than my grief. That moment didn't fix everything, but it made healing possible. And in the years since then, I found I'm not alone in this. Over the last 150 years or so, the further we've gotten away from nature, the sicker we've both become. The closer we get together, the more opportunities we have to heal. There are places designed intentionally to rekindle this sacred human-nature connection. And there's an organization dedicated to making more of them possible. Nature Sacred. I was called as a second-generation leader to do this because of my experience of nature, and we've been working with communities for nearly 30 years. Some of us have easy access to nature, but for so many, especially in cities, it's seemingly non-existent. We at Nature Sacred work with communities to help make more moments like this possible, where healing happens not in isolation, but in presence. These spaces offer more than beauty or calm. They offer reconnection to self, to place, to community, to the past, to the future, to the right now. We call them sacred places. These aren't recreational parks, though joy and celebration absolutely happen there. They welcome contemplation. They're where people meet nature, and they're shaped by the hands and voices of the people who use them. These spaces intentionally have community voice at the center to help invite others to be in rhythm with the natural world. These spaces bring together people from all backgrounds, with any religious belief or none, but a shared belief that these healing green spaces can help stitch and restitch our communities, our culture, our planet together. We are quite simply finding a better way forward. These spaces aren't imposed upon, they're co-created by the people who will love them, tend to them, and make memories in them. And the process moves at nature's speed. slow, attentive, layered, which not surprisingly is the same speed at which trust is built. Sacred places invite you to slow down. And here's what's remarkable. In nearly 150 spaces, from hospitals and prisons to universities and underserved neighborhoods, a shared truth emerges. When we move in rhythm with the natural world, even for a few minutes, we begin to heal. And we know this because of what people write. The design that distinguishes a sacred place is that there's a portal to know that you're entering a new space, a path to meander, to let your thoughts meander, a destination to focus your attention, and a sense of surround to help you relax. Each of these looks different because the community decides what's sacred to them. The one thing that's the same is the signature wooden bench, and tucked underneath that bench is a little yellow waterproof journal. For nearly 30 years, ordinary people have been writing the most extraordinary things. They write about love and loss, and gratitude and grief. They write about things they wouldn't say out loud. They write about watching their child smile, having a much-needed moment of pause, and finding a moment of peace. We know these places work not because we say so, but because people return and they write. I'd like to share a few glimpses of how people are finding a better way through their love, their loss, their joy, because of the space around them that embraces them. The first is written by someone who recognizes that even in troubling times, we can connect to each other's common humanity, something so needed right now. I never thought that I'd be sitting here, a person who survived war, death, poverty, self-doubt, and depression. Today, there is no doubt I have a purpose. Seeing what others have written is moving. I truly believe that each of us is tethered and each other's blessings. We didn't change a word. Sometimes finding a better way is about seeing what's right in front of you, even in the most stressful of places, like hospitals. Nature can quietly change the experience, and we've seen it happen. Celia shares, "Hi, my name is Celia, and I'm 9 years old. I'm here for a CAT scan, and I felt scared. But this is a pretty garden, and it makes me feel better." In our academic work with hospitals, we recognize that even small interventions of green space can have an outsized impact on patient experience. Celia brings that home in human form. What happens in hospitals happens in communities too. They can breathe easier. In one in Baltimore, they show us how. Helene E. writes, "Just stopped by with my 3-year-old. She wanted to stop here to rest. I didn't want to stop at first, but then I thought about my dad passing a few weeks ago and realized the time is precious. So I'm enjoying the moment here with her, doing what she likes. We'll go get food after. Awesome time." And little 3.5-year-old Danica makes her mark. What happens in this sacred place, what the community named Thanksgiving Place, in association with a senior living community where economics don't determine accessibility, something rare emerges, a shared ground. It's where seniors dance on mobility scooters as they listen to live jazz, where school supplies are handed out in the fall for those who need them, where people come to cry, to celebrate, and just to sit. Like Helene and Danica. Because they designed it, it reflects them. Because it reflects them, they return. What's happening at Thanksgiving Place isn't just heartwarming, it's indicative of something larger. In over 60 municipalities, these sacred places have proven to be multi-solvers, addressing multiple needs at once. Nature is not a luxury. It's essential infrastructure. And when we create spaces, not just to be seen, but to be used, these multi-solvers do extraordinary things. Research shows that they can lower anxiety and blood pressure. They increase connection, and they serve as vital places during times of joy and crisis. These spaces don't care who you are, what you believe, or what you've been through. They say, come as you are, you belong here. And right now, in too many places, people don't have access even to that. This is about us, all of us. We designed the technologies and bought into the systems that change the pace of our world. Now it's on us to create the spaces that help return us to rhythm. Nature isn't something just to be visited on vacation, it's something to be lived with, be in relationship with. We don't need to go back in time, we need to come back to ourselves and each other and nature. Because when people can emerge from these spaces just a little bit clearer, a little bit more grounded, that can have ripples into how they show up for their family, at work, how they savor that strawberry or traverse traffic on the way home. We need more moments like this. So, plant something, slow something, connect something. In your school, in your neighborhood, in your city. Leave space for breath, for memory, for gathering, for silence, for wonder. Help make places that return people to rhythm, cyclically, communally, with care. Because when we do, we remember who we are. And in the remembering, we heal. That moment alone in nature for me didn't change everything, but it gave me a glimpse into a pace I could survive inside. I was reminded that the world isn't only urgent, it's also alive. And I am a part of that aliveness. And so are you. And we see that in what people write. Sitting on this bench makes me feel like a caretaker of wonder. May we all be caretakers of wonder. Thank you.